The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Heckma Harrison, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
And we're looking on the bright side on a Tuesday at high noon here inside the SWBC podcast studio. Heckma Harrison says, come on in. It's time for Mick Shots. Bill Jones,
are we already on
Everson
the bright side?
Walls, Heckma Harrison, Mickey Spagnola, and well, let's just put it this way. This Cowboys team's doing better than a Cowboys team up north of the border in Oklahoma. Okay? You've seen Oklahoma State play.
Yeah.
Or not play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hadn't been good.
Yeah. So there's that.
Because
that's the bright spot.
They ended
bright
up,
side.
Bright side. Isn't there a song, Mr. Brightside or something?
Okay, there you go. Maybe we should start the show with that. All right, we've got much to get to. We heard from a head coach since we last convened. We heard from an owner, president, and general manager since we last convened, and perhaps that sheds some light on what happened on Sunday in Chicago. And we look ahead to Micah and the Packers coming here on Sunday night.
Did you hear Jerry's answer to that question?
Well, I first heard this was yesterday. The question was posed to Jerry. I don't know who posed it to Jerry about will the Cowboys honor Micah with some sort of a video or something?
It was like,
and I had the same reaction you just had on your face. What are you talking about?
It's like, was Leroy Jordan coming back to town or something?
I mean, okay, just compare it to Luka for a second. Okay, Luka was here much longer than a couple more seasons anyway, than Micah was here. And took the team to the NBA Finals the year before. I mean, I was just stunned that was even a thought.
I was shocked that he had to answer it and then answer it again this morning.
Oh, did he really?
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Okay.
All
right.
right. Is he going to do it?
No.
Everson, did you ever come back here and play after? Did you play a game at Texas Stadium after you left? Okay.
Several, yeah.
And did they do a video for you?
Nope.
No interceptions.
Nah. Jimmy wasn't having that. Neither was Jerry. Have we honored anybody here this year at all?
I don't remember them ever doing that for a player coming back before a game. Just remind me.
Oh, no.
Did they do it for Emmett?
They probably did.
Of course.
Did
Emmett?
Emmett play?
When he came back with
He came back and got
Arizona.
The Cardinals.
Remember,
He did
came
play a
back
game
with the
here.
Cardinals.
Okay, I know the first preseason game after Emmett went to the Cardinals was in 2003. It was Cowboys played at Arizona.
Okay.
We did that game, Mickey.
That's right, we did.
That's right.
But it was a preseason game.
All right, exactly.
So
It was a silly question. I mean, I'm glad he didn't just give them a condescending answer to it, but still.
Hey, look at him.
You like that?
Man. Look
You
at
like that?
boys.
Hey, that's that Tiger Woods. That's good touching on me, OG. I'm just saying.
We should explain to those who are not watching Dallas Cowboys.
I'm sorry. I just never seen this one right here.
Oh, that's all. It's a new edition, man.
Everson is admiring.
He's just seeing me for the first time. He's been in the room for 15 minutes.
Admiring the shirt that Heckma is wearing. How would you describe your shirt?
It's
the new
baby
edition,
blue.
2025.
Yeah,
That's the new edition.
baby blue. Just a golf
That's
shirt.
nice, man.
Tiger Woods.
I see. We should get shirts, man. We don't get shirts. We do Q&As all the time.
Speak up.
We should get shirts, man. They should just give us one shirt.
We got Star Sports Tour shirts.
Yeah, but man, we need that too. Man.
I think he bought the polo because that's a great look. Or it's not a polo.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
a
that's the new
quarter,
quarter
button.
Yeah.
And then he got a star and taped it on.
Oh.
Ironed it on, right?
It hadn't come to that yet. I'm definitely going to the pro shop.
Part of the Nike collection.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's 2025 edition.
Yeah, come on, man. It's right upstairs, man. You know, it's right up there, man. You can get you one.
You get a discount?
Well, sure he does.
No, he did.
Yeah.
I don't think he did.
Of course I got the discount.
Okay, he got the discount.
Yes.
My bad. You may continue, William. I'm sorry.
Oh, Mickey's continuing.
I'm just
Where were
fashionista.
So Jerry? They asked Jerry if there was any more meaning to this game against the Packers because Micah was coming back, and he said, "Yes, got to win." So
And not because Mike is coming back. They got to win.
they got to win. Period.
No, it
right?
has nothing to do with it.
But if there's more importance to it, I guess was probably the question. So, yeah, that was amazing to me.
So Booker. Yes.
High ankle sprain. Probably same as CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's 3 to 5 weeks with a high ankle sprain, I've been told. And I would imagine Booker's probably in the same boat, except that, at least for an offensive lineman, he doesn't have to run 10, 15 yards. So it maybe you can get back quicker.
He's still a 300-pound man
But
pushing
he's
off.
300,
Come
right?
on now.
Yeah.
I think
So would he have been on Micah's side of the field?
Well,
They'll
right
put
guard.
Micah wherever there's a backup now,
Oh, okay.
right?
So
I think they
T.J.
would.
Bass.
Jay Bass and
It's your
Shea
birthday.
Bass and Brock Hoffman be ready.
Well,
well, you got.
As ready as you
I mean, we'll get into this as the week goes on.
Yes.
But how much will what number is he wearing again?
52.
No. What number is Michael wearing?
Number
again?
one.
0.
One, right?
One. Okay, couldn't remember if it was 0 or 1. I think Matthew Golden has 0 for them. First player wearing number 1 since Ernie Lambeau wore number 1 for the Packers.
Wow.
100 years ago.
You're lying.
No,
it's true.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
Man.
But
They feel
how much?
special about
And
it.
he's turning in his grave, too.
Yeah, I bet he is. Yeah.
And that was just because he was the first player on the roster. Lambeau was, and so they didn't really have numbers back then.
Yeah, but now he's got a stadium name.
And a leap named after him as well.
Now this.
But how much is number 1 going to be on the minds of the 2 tackles that are starting this game? When you're talking about matching up and finding weaknesses on the offensive line, he's going to be in the
Can I
head
answer that for you?
Yeah.
When the clock went 0-0-0, that's when they started thinking about Micah. That is a crazy matchup.
They will have a tight end in motion to any side he's on.
So the tight end's going to be in constant motion.
Yeah.
If
Micah moves, the tight end's coming back.
It's going to be like when a team puts a man in motion to see if the defense is playing man or not.
Right.
Okay, and so if Micah's moving around, the tight end is going to go in motion to wherever Micah's moving. He's going to mirror him.
Or you're going to use 2 tight ends all the time, just in case.
But we're not worried about him. No, not at all.
No.
We're not worried about it.
Oh hell yeah, you are. Oh yeah, you are.
We're not worried at all.
Oh yes, you
We
are.
just got tight end
yeah,
going back and
you're gonna
forth.
have
better.
you're
Like
gonna
a
have
pendulum swinging.
No. You're gonna have somebody watching him from the moment he gets off the bus, going into the locker room. Man, this is a challenge for us, and I guess my worry is Guyton. And I know, look, you're gonna solder a tight end to him and say, hey, you guys are bosom buddies, but that's gonna limit. That's going to limit your offense. And I guess you're already limited anyway. But I guess the question I had, even with Booker going down after the whole CeeDee thing that we knew he was going to be out, are you guys one of those podcasts that believe in the next man up mentality?
Yeah.
Yes? Is that your deal?
I don't know about them, but yes, I've always thought next man up. The Cowboys' entire existence was always about the next man up. You always had these big-time first rounders, but then here come these guys, undrafted free agents from somewhere, a low-round pick from somewhere. They've stepped up.
Yes.
It's
So,
a story of the NFL. I mean,
Yeah, well, the Cowboys have always really been good at it,
but especially
because of
now, as
the
many
way that we
injuries
sign
are
players back
all
in the
across
day.
the league, as big as rosters are.
Yeah, I'm a next man up guy.
Yeah, so guys like T.J. Bass, and we already talked about Brock Hoffman stepping in for BB. That's going to be a problem because you know where Green Bay is going to try and attack us, and it's going to be the middle of the field to try and stop our running attack. That's literally from the edges. You know what they have with Gary, but in the middle of the field with like you said, he's going up against backups. They're going to put Micah Parsons right in that A gap.
Well, just make him play the run.
Do we? Okay.
Make them play the run.
Well, here's the other thing when you think of the interior offensive linemen for the Cowboys now. Okay, when you put the roster together back in March and April, free agency and the draft, how many of those guys, interior offensive linemen, have you now lost? You lost Robert Jones, who's a veteran guy.
You lost him early.
You lost him in training camp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's done.
You've lost Cooper Beebe, and now you've lost Tyler Booker. So Tyler Smith is at the top of the rung. There is your top interior offensive lineman.
Yes.
So you've lost 3 of your top 4 offensive linemen as you put this, or interior offensive linemen, as you put this roster together back in the offseason.
See, and the deal with next man up. Okay, he's up. Mm-hmm. Who's the next man to the next man? And now you're getting real thin. Right, on the offensive line.
Well, one thing you worry about with Green Bay, I mean, they were already a good defense before Micah got there. So while we're talking about who's going to be moving with Micah, you still got guys that are balling on this defense.
At least they don't have Kenny Clark over there now.
So sorry. They got Wyatt. And then they got Wood.
I'm still waiting on Kenny.
Well, what has this team done consistently well the first 3 games?
Run the football.
They ran the football. 3 100-yard games in a row, and I went and asked and got looked up. The last time they've had more than 3 in a row was 5 in 2023.
Well, not that long ago.
No, yeah, but it's been a while. I mean, to have 5 more than 3 in a row. So now you can go 4.
How inept it was last year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, until the second half of the season.
That show.
I thought he was going to go back to the 76. No, it was just 2 years ago. But look, here's the problem is what you said. Like, we got T.J. Bass, because T.J. Bass would have been the backup to the center guards. And both guards. Mm-hmm. And now you're bringing in...
No, Hoffman,
the center.
So now he's got to play center.
And so your swing tackle your backup swing tackle is Nate Thomas.
No. Yes. Okay. Backup tackle.
Backup tackle
yes.
is Nate Thomas.
Right.
So who's out?
Well, Trevor Keegan,
Trevor Keegan,
who came up in first week of the season. They picked him up from the Eagles.
Okay.
So he's going to be the backup center because previously Bass could have done.
Or is
both.
Wesley French the backup center? It was on the practice squad
who
actually
yes.
He's the only one who actually has played center in an NFL game. Wesley French, who played for Indianapolis 2 years ago, was hurt last year. And so he's on the practice squad, and that's who they signed last week.
But remember, you got to have 8 offensive linemen active to be able to take 2 guys off the practice field. I mean, the practice squad to elevate.
Well, they're going to have 8 active.
Yeah.
I literally only bring that point up because being limited versus a defense like Green Bay, it does not count well for us. Because you can say because of Micah, okay, run the ball, but it's not just Micah and a bunch of guys on defense that can't stop the run.
There. This is where I was headed. And he said that it's not like he's playing with the Cowboys defense from the last couple of years.
Different.
He's got a better supporting cast, so that gives him even more leeway to freelance or whatever they do. Because I haven't seen him really running the ball much on Green Bay since he's been there, and that's been a problem for us when Micah was here. But now Micah is there, and he's got a better supporting cast.
And by the way, he's a big reason that Rashawn Gary already has 4.5 sacks.
Of course.
the other pass rusher.
It'd be nice if we could just run on any part of that defense. I wouldn't necessarily target Parsons to run on. I'd say you just better do what you do best, which is run the football right now. I wouldn't worry about where Micah is. I think you just worry about where the rest of the Green Bay Packers defense is, because they are good.
Yeah.
By the way,
and then hold on to it after your 30-yard run.
Yeah.
And by the way, the other major injury issue that the Cowboys are dealing with right now, CeeDee Lamb, this goes back to why it was so important to make the trade for George Pickens back in May. Because if you didn't have George Pickens on this roster, where would you be when CeeDee Lamb goes down with an injury?
So and going back to the Bears game, it seemed like where I was thinking the spotlight was going to shine on George Pickens, it ended up shining on our tight end. Instead, Ferg ended up getting more targets. And that's the part of the game that I think, look, going into this game versus Green Bay, we have to be able to stretch the field a lot more than we did than when we were playing against the Bears.
We need to throw deeper passes and give them that threat because they play for us to run these short routes. Pickens is running a short route over here. They probably had a safety favoring his side, if not outright double team. Everybody else is one-on-one. So they say, you know what, my outlet, which is a smart outlet for any quarterback, is a good tight end that you can take advantage of.
And you know why? The safeties were playing downtown Chicago.
Right.
They were 10 to 15 yards behind. When they were lined up 10 yards and they were backing up. So nothing was going over their
Let me
heads.
give you the perspective that I heard this morning from Chicago Bears safety Kevin Byard. Byard, who got his 30th career interception.
Yes.
Late in the game on Sunday. He, by the way,
is he your brother-in-law or something? Byard. Every time I hear Bill speak, he's got Byard on it.
He just happened to be on Sirius NFL Radio this morning, and listening to him, man, that guy is eloquent. He's got some Everson Walls in him.
What is he talking about?
Okay,
he's going to go into broadcasting after. I mean, just the way he talks, he's going to go into broadcasting after his career. But anyway, he had great insight, I thought, in regards to why Jake Ferguson got so many targets in that game, and he attributed it to Dennis Allen's defense. And it was more so a case, especially with the Bears with a lead in the game, and the Cowboys had to pass.
CeeDee Lamb out.
But it had more to do with what Dennis Allen does with his pass rush and how it affected the Cowboys' protection of Dak Prescott. When you're putting 6-7 guys up on the line of scrimmage, and you're able to do that because you've got a 17-point lead in the game, okay, and the offensive line has no idea who's coming. And so basically, he was saying that what Dak had to do, he had to check it down all the time, every play, because they didn't know who was coming on any particular play. So he gave a lot of credit to Dennis Allen's defense and just his scheme as far as that goes. And other teams do that too.
Well, other teams do that to us, and we talked about that early last week.
But the key on that is having the lead. You got to have the lead where the team is one-dimensional, and they don't. You don't care whether they're running the football or not at that point in the game when they're down 17.
You heard what Tom Brady said about Dennis Allen, right? In the broadcast?
Yeah.
He said
he didn't even like speaking about him.
He didn't like speaking to him.
Yeah.
Because he said it was so infuriating to have to play against his defenses that he goes, before, you know how before the game, all brother-in-law stuff out there. He goes, I didn't want to talk to him. He goes, he frustrated me so much.
You know what's frustrating about this, though? Dennis Allen, for 2 games, his defense was lifeless. They had 0 sacks. They had no turnovers. And then shows up the Cowboys, and now all of a sudden, everybody's screaming Dennis Allen's name. It's just.
I told you,
so let's see Dennis Allen. Let's talk about Dennis next week.
You know what the difference was? Come on. Now the Vikings
we revitalized everyone's.
The Vikings.
His defense played really good the first 3 quarters of the Vikings game, and then everything went sideways in the 4th quarter.
That's true.
And his defense didn't do anything last week against the Lions because the Lions were playing with a 17-point lead in the game, and he couldn't do this kind of stuff.
And Baltimore's defense didn't do anything against the Lions, excuse me.
No, last night.
Gave up 38 points.
Well, hey, and to the Lions' credit and Campbell's credit, their offensive line is pretty good, and I love the way, since we're talking about our being healthy, but at the same time, their philosophy, combo blocking, and then getting to the second level. If we are shorthanded, why don't we take that same philosophy into this game versus the Packers? If we plan on keeping our running game going.
Well, one thing that we talked about last week, the Cowboys' weakness on offense is pressure, and I mean showing blitz pressure. It always takes us out of our game.
Think so?
And that I know so. That is when we don't do well on the road, because we're usually in that particular situation. We have Dak checking at the line, as you talked about all the time, and now you down 1 receiver. Yeah, they should look good. They should have looked good on Chicago's defense, because we're short our number 1 receiver. We're trying to run the ball, but now we don't have a defense that can stop anybody. That sounds extremely familiar to last year.
But Everson, when you have a quarterback that's been in the league as long as Dak has, shouldn't that be something that innate? You know, he understands that pressure's coming, because all I saw Dennis doing was presenting pressure and then dropping guys out. And if that was the most confusing thing he was doing, then he's been seeing this his whole life as a quarterback. And
those has his supporting staff.
It's more so how much does he trust his offensive line picking it up?
And wide receivers knowing what to run.
Yeah.
Well,
so what's worse?
That's another confidence. Yeah. That's another conversation altogether.
So what's worse, missing 2 guys on the offensive line or missing Lamb?
Missing Lamb. I'm sorry. That's just me.
I mean, those
Lamb.
are two quote unquote veteran guys that are replacing
Missing
a
Lamb?
rookie and a second year guy on the offensive line.
Who are we gonna throw to?
No, I'm just thinking about
Brock Hoffman started 7 games last year. T.J. Bass has started games before in this league. They're a center and a guard.
You can always help offensive linemen on protection. You can scheme something, but you don't have just anybody out there playing CeeDee Lamb. That's just the difference. That's the playmaker that you need. When it comes to offensive linemen, we can design assistance for them. We can't get another CeeDee Lamb out there.
No, and I don't believe that we can either. But when we're compromised at the offensive line, and you have a quarterback that already doesn't have the confidence in his offensive line, I think that pretty much puts everything up for grabs, because now you're going to be one-dimensional. In one way or another, you're going to be one-dimensional. And I think the way that CeeDee Lamb was eating was because that running game was also adding the balance as well. So the 2 offensive line, to me, I mean, well, tomato.
It's up to you what game you want to go with. I think we stay more diverse if we have a CeeDee Lamb out there versus being one-dimensional, looking for pickings. The other boys not getting open, and now we're trying to run the ball on the team that knows we have to run the ball. So, I'd rather go with CeeDee.
I would say that scoring 14 points in that game the other day, that had a lot to do with the fact that CeeDee Lamb wasn't on the field for most of the game.
Oh,
Mickey,
I couldn't process what you were saying. I got you.
Yeah, well, we got to score.
Not having CeeDee.
Right.
But we got to definitely score more than 14 points. That was the.
All right. I want to hear Mickey's take on what the head coach had to say about the 3 big plays given up by the Cowboys defense against Chicago, and after watching the film, what actually happened on those plays. When we come back, breaking news around the NFC East.
Oh, God.
1 week after Russell Wilson lit up the Cowboys defense with 4 touchdown passes, he's headed to the bench. Jackson Dart is the new starting quarterback.
Ever see you? That's mean. That's so mean.
And more mix shots in just a moment.
Oh, you crazy.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Look, school's starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16 and is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Hey, Cowboy fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience the best sports venue in the world, AT&T Stadium. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your package today.
Back to Mick Shots.
Are you a Cowboys super fan? The search is on for the 2025 Fan of the Year presented by Captain Morgan. Now through September 29th, nominate extraordinary NFL fans, dynamic duos, and game changers who rep the Cowboys with pride and turn every game day into an unforgettable adventure. You could be sent to Super Bowl 60. Enter to win at NFL.com/Fan of the Year today.
Very good, Everson. Nice read there. Mickey asked a question right before we came back. He asked, and he's perusing his legal pad, trying to figure out when CeeDee got hurt in the game. It was the 6th offensive play of the game for the Cowboys, Mickey.
It was that early.
That early.
6th
offensive play of the game.
And I
second series of the game.
Keep seeing that replay, and we are so lucky that he didn't break that ankle.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it was a hip drop.
Yeah.
It was, man.
Down on him.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I was
thinking.
thinking.
When I went back and looked at the way the guy tackled him and kind of had
It's
his leg
classic.
wrapped
It's
around
classic.
his ankle.
Yeah. It did not look. They didn't call it in real
They
time,
did
and I'm
not.
sure they
His full
looked
weight
at it. But the way that he brought him down and the way that he came back on his
That's a hip drop.
Yeah,
man.
so.
Well, part of it is a running style that CeeDee has too. I mean, he's fighting for every available yard, and part
He
of
usually
it
breaks that tackle. That's what he's thinking.
Yeah. And
So at that time, the game was only 7-0, right? And then they drove for a field goal the rest of that drive.
kind of a different deal when you're running from the running back position rather than in the open field.
I'm not as upset about them putting him at the running back. I was upset about it on Sunday, but I understand. Get your playmakers the ball however you can. Reverse, put him in the backfield, out of direct snap to him. If teams have done worse. So I understand. I understand.
That's our first time putting him in the backfield this year.
This year, I believe he did it a lot. I mean, a few times last season.
Oh, yeah.
The Bears did it with DJ Moore, didn't they? They handed him the ball
he carried the ball
three or four
times,
times, right?
But DJ Moore is built like he's built for it.
Like more running back.
Like and I heard somebody yesterday talking about Debo, and I'm telling the way the Commanders are using Debo in the backfield. I don't know, that's a long way the way, but
no, that's the way they were using him.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Bears are going to start doing it with Luther Burden. You watch.
Why is that, Mickey?
All you do get the ball in his hand.
Okay, Mickey,
yes.
Coach was asked about the defensive busts on the big plays in the game on Sunday, starting with the Rome Odunze touchdown, which was a 3rd and 8 play at the Dallas 35-yard line where Trayvon slipped. What was the explanation that
he might have been a little too aggressive,
tight. Yes.
too tight on
considering the situation, okay? It's 3rd and 8 at the 35 at the Dallas 35-yard line, okay? And that's when Trayvon's going to go play press.
Yeah,
and he falls.
They got 8 yards they need 8 yards for a first down, and when you consider what the mindset of the offense is here, and by the way, they put Zacchaeus, a slot guy, in motion. They detected that the Cowboys were playing man if they didn't already know it, since Trayvon was pressing on the outside. That just confirmed it for the young quarterback, and so it's an easy. I mean, he was going to go to Odunze no matter what, even if Trayvon didn't slip, because it was going to be a safe go route down the sideline, right?
I thought that CeeDee played – I'm sorry. I thought that Trayvon played with more panic than poise. When you're dealing with the limitations that he's got physically, then you just have to understand you can't make any gambles. He gambled too much on that. When the man came in motion, that's when Diggs came up. He tried to sneak up on him. He tried to surprise him with that surprise jam. Your body ain't ready for that right now. You need to just stay back either stay solid and play a conservative jam, meaning you keep leverage over the top, or you do the same from backing off and do it from a back pedal. But you have to keep leverage over the top right now. You don't have the ability to make a mistake, as he ended up doing, and then recover. It's hard enough to do that when you're completely healthy.
How about this? Could it be also that Trayvon's competitive fire got the best of him there? Because, okay, he hadn't been playing man much at all this year.
Hadn't been playing much football at all.
Yeah, and so he's like, okay,
he played man, he wasn't playing.
This is my opportunity. This is my opportunity against their top receiver. And he's got this competitive trait that every great player has, and
I get that.
Got the most of him.
What he's also doing is he's trying to react off of last week as well, because everyone, the narrative is out there. He's not doing well, so he's got that in his mind as well, trying to show somebody different. You don't need to show anybody anything. Just play the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And once again, play it with leverage so that guys don't get behind you for the quick six, which is what we ended up having.
But basically what the head coach said about it is you got to understand the situation. It's 3rd and 8. And
yes.
he got a little too tight and
once again, his technique was bad because he got caught trying to sneak the jam.
Okay.
Be in position
and then
now.
He slipped down.
Yeah, and he slipped down. It was all about, they snapped it as soon as he came up.
Second play.
Bad time.
A flea flicker. Better eye discipline.
Yes. What are they looking at? I mean, even in the secondary, what are you looking at?
Yeah. And that's the key in the secondary.
Because everybody
they have to be.
They were going to come up and support the.
They're not. Thank you. That's not your job.
And they needed to recognize who was in the game, right? I don't know if they don't know 10 or the history, but they had to know, right? They weren't relying on Burden in the first two games.
I promise you, if you look at the technique of the safeties on that play, I bet they didn't backpedal one bit.
No.
During the start of that play. Once again, guys, defensive backs, and especially the secondary, is about timing. When you hand the ball off on offense, your safeties should already be retreating for the pass. That's just what you do. You don't stand there and wait for things to develop because you're losing your leverage on the outside receivers as well. It's just that simple. You have to take I used to take a 3-step drop on every play, especially when I'm playing the conservative manner, because that will keep leverage on you on any wide receiver coming down the field. Wow. And as a secondary, you got to have leverage.
And the worst part was that it was basically 2 receivers. Hooker had to decide, okay, where do I go?
He shouldn't be the only one back there deciding that.
And that's what
he
happened.
was a single high.
He was single high.
But then you got guys they got third on this end as well.
Everybody released.
Guys, I got news for you. They've been biting the run for the last 3 weeks, so you shouldn't be surprised that teams.
That's why they ran the play.
Right. And I mean, they showed the personnel. And what I've stopped doing is thinking that these guys are not prepared, because they spend all week, all morning, all afternoon and evening up here going over everything. You got pregame, you got walkthrough, you got every part of it that's reminding you of what these guys want to do. Ben Johnson didn't come into this game thinking about a flea flicker. He knew he was going to run that flea flicker. And when the opportunity presented itself, I mean, he definitely drew it up, and it happened just perfectly. Maybe it wasn't perfect. The throwback to the quarterback wasn't perfect, but
that's because Mozzie blew it up.
Mozzie was blowing that play up.
Everson's looking at the play.
Well,
Malik Hooker actually did retreat on the snap of the ball, but then he came
up. The defense they were playing. Does that corner need to read it? And when he sees the 2 receivers released,
one receiver went inside.
Okay.
That's when you bail back.
Yeah.
Because you still got to play your third. They were just slow doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Malik Hooker was back. He actually retreated 3 steps, just as I said. But then he also came up while the receivers were coming at him. So then that just negated his retreat.
I got news for you guys. Coming up, they got a Josh Jacobs that every safety pays attention to, and if they can run another flea flicker in this game. You can get the same situation, because you better have attention to detail every time this guy gets to the line of scrimmage, and they have capable wide receivers that can burn you down the field as well. So
third play,
if you don't fix it.
Third play was the tight end touchdown
by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Not the screen pass. Not that one.
Oh, that was bad. Or the 29-yarder to Bird.
These were just the three that Schottenheimer mentioned on his own. He was basically asked a general question about the bust on defense. And so the third one that he mentioned was the tight end and losing the vertical seam for the
Mick,
touchdown.
I got to ask you something. I got a question for you because I read your article and because I read your Tuesday article. And you did not give there was no glimmer of hope in that article. There's no silver lining in there, Mickey. And I just wanted to know.
He was hungry when he wrote
Is that what it was? Because I'm just saying, I mean, based off of the numbers, I mean, you broke it down with the stats, the numbers, how it all happened, how we were compromised. After you watch that and after you're at a 3-game sample size right now, is there a glimmer of hope going into this game versus the Packers?
Yeah, you got to score. That was my point going into the game. And coming out of the game, last night was a prime example. Detroit had to score 30-some points to beat Baltimore, right? And Baltimore was going to have to score 40 to beat Detroit. Yeah. And they supposedly have good defenses.
Well,
allegedly.
Now, the Ravens, we should point out the Ravens were missing Kyle Van Noy and Nnamdi Madubuike.
Does that make a difference when your starters are out?
Does it make that much of a difference?
Evidently it does. So the strength of this offense, I mean, this team is the offense. You got to score. It's what I wrote before the game. It's like, I don't know where this defense is going to go until they get some of these players back. When you have 4 of your top 6 corners sitting there watching, what are you doing? I got to have 3 corners on the field. I got a guy that I picked up off the Bears or the Minnesota waiver wire starting in the slot.
And he was the best corner on the field.
And he was. and I guarantee you when they traded for Elam, they didn't think he was going to be a starter, maybe the third guy. They needed the backup behind Diggs and Bland, and Diggs wasn't ready, and Bland gets hurt. And it's like, okay, next man up.
Now, we already knew that coming into the season
they were compromised.
That we're going to have to score a whole bunch of points.
Yes.
That was the whole point of getting Pickens.
I'm thinking Elam was going to be a starter. I don't know
You think he would have?
Because, they didn't account for the loss of Jordan Lewis then.
Well, here's what was going to happen.
Bland plays in the slot.
Diggs and Bland. Right. And then when they go to nickel, Bland goes in the slot, and Elam.
That's what. So
they were hoping.
That's a starter.
But they were hoping
because that's the way we start most games.
Well, in the NFL, 70% of the plays are here in the nickel. Yeah.
But they were actually hoping that Revel would have been ready to go.
That's it. That's the difference right there.
How's he going?
I think he's ready. I don't know how quickly he can ramp up to play football. Physically, when I watch him rehab, he's ready. But he hadn't played since
rehabbing. Is he still in the rehab stage?
Well, that's what he's doing on IR. That's all That's all you can do.
Okay.
You can't. They can start him practicing a week next Monday.
What Elam was the stopgap until Revel's ready.
Right. And that would have been.
And we're in that
plan.
stopgap right now.
And if he wasn't ready, maybe Josh Butler, who came on and played last year.
But he was coming off an ACL also.
And he was coming off an ACL.
So he wasn't going to be ready at the beginning of the season.
So if you're Eberflus, is your mentality, and Coach talked about this too, personnel change as far as your secondary?
There's nowhere to change to, though. These guys are back, right?
Well, then you have guys like number 14, Bell.
Well, that's safety, but I'm talking cornerbacks.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the breakdown that you're having does have a lot to do with your safety play as well. You got caught in man against Chicago, and we just talked about that with Trayvon Diggs. But I think some of these guys that are coming wide open, your question is, how are your safeties responding to that? How are you playing zone on the back end with safety support? Those are the bigger questions going into.
It seems like to me with his safeties, he's like, pick your poison. But as far as I'm concerned, you got to put another guy out there. You got to put another guy out there who's hungry.
Well, they started.
Marquise Bell is that guy.
They started using Wanye Thomas in passing situations.
I don't think they trust Marquise. I don't.
I don't think they think he's a middle of the field safety. They're both kind of safeties.
You think Wilson is?
kind of
That's my point.
Well, that's why they've been moving him closer to the line of scrimmage.
Keep in mind that Marquise Bell was your starting linebacker when the Cowboys lost to the Packers, these same Packers, not the same Packers, but the Packers, 48-32 in the playoffs.
Big
and Jordan Love with Micah Parsons on a podcast said, well, we looked out there and we saw number 14s playing linebacker, so we're going to run the football.
And that's why he needs to be back at his original position, which is safety. They've been trying to make this guy a linebacker for the past 2 years. It doesn't make any sense to me. Not at all.
All right. We got more to get to. Another segment to go.
For 5 more minutes.
Yes. When Mick Shots continues in a moment.
Look, school is starting and I'm just a kid. And let's be honest, I'm not going to shop for myself. But we can get up to 40% off back-to-school essentials on Uber Eats. Did I mention I need poster board for my science fair, lunch for my field trip, and unlined note cards for my history quiz tomorrow? Or were they lined? Anyway, Uber Eats has like all the back-to-school stuff on there. So come on, let's order now on Uber Eats and get up to 40% off. We're cool, right? Cool.
Not literally everything. Promotion ends 9/16. It is subject to change or cancellation. Exclusions may apply. Check app for availability.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
The National Medal of Honor Museum is now open in Arlington, Texas, just a few blocks from AT&T Stadium. Immersive exhibits and exciting technology allow you to fly a rescue helicopter mission in Vietnam and have conversations with virtual Medal of Honor recipients. Come be inspired by these incredible stories of ordinary Americans who did the extraordinary. Get your tickets at mohmuseum.org.
Back to Mick Shots.
Celebrate Oktoberfest at Rally Day presented by SeatGeek on Saturday, September 27th from 10 to 5 p.m. Get ready to cheer on your Dallas Cowboys with tours of AT&T Stadium, plus enjoy festive games, German-inspired food, beer in a Cowboy Stein, and more. Visit AT&TStadium.com/rallydays for tickets and more information.
All right, final few minutes here of Mick Shots. And so, Mickey, what else you got there on your legal pad that we need to get to? Anything else that Jerry said today that we need to be aware of?
I wrote down some of the things he had to say. They asked him about secondary changes, by the way. He said, we got people coming. So, I mean, do you want to see Trocchisi?
And Deron Bland has a chance this week.
And
wait. Do I want to see who?
Trocchisi. Trocchisi.
that man, mama. Never mind.
Slip by that.
I'm gonna leave it alone.
Just slur it. Bridges. They even had him out.
Wow.
By the way.
Okay.
Several.
Oh my God.
Deals.
How'd you think about Reddy Stewart? Are you on board with Reddy Stewart?
I think he's played well.
27?
Yeah.
I think
him.
He's at least carried out his assignment.
I like him. Yeah.
I think on the first play he came on a blitz, and after that,
Ran right by the run.
no, but after that, it probably wasn't much.
Yes, Mickey.
I was just trying to see what my notes said about. He said something about what they asked him about Micah and the money. Oh, I know what he said. They asked him if it got personal, and that's why they didn't sign him. And he said, absolutely not at all. It was not personal why they didn't. He said, I gave him my best offer I could give him, and it wasn't enough, so it was time to put it out there, to put some chum out there to see what it was worth. to get something in return for him if we weren't going to pay him that much.
Those guys in that defensive end room have got to be sick right now. Going into a game versus Micah and knowing that they are struggling the way that they are, and everybody is comparing their production to Micah's production, And so Sam Williams, all of them, our second-round draft pick, he's got to be feeling that pressure from the Micah trade.
In the words of the head coach, Donovan Ezaraku played great for the second straight game.
And if you watched, he actually,
that's what he said yesterday.
I don't know if it was great. He was making plays. He was doing what he was supposed to do, setting the edge. He got a couple pressures, and I saw him make some plays. Here's the thing. Last year, they were third in the league with 52 sacks. Okay? I went back and looked. 38 of them went out the building. 38 sacks left.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Mickey?
But it was only 12 to one guy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So
another 26.
So these other guys that got left behind, they had like 14.
But how many of those sacks
were they all supposed to now be a 8-sack guy?
Now, how many of those sacks were because of number 11?
Well, I'm just telling you that these other guys, like Golston, 5.5. Some guy named Carl Lawson. I forgot he was on the team.
Yeah.
He had 5. Overshone had 5, right? DeMarcus Lawrence, 3. Kendricks, 3. So they had some other guys that were.
But
he wasn't playing.
Well, they had 10.5 come in the door. Dante Fowler.
Yeah, and how many now has he accounted for?
You see Rashawn Gary out there sitting on the floor like, double team no longer coming my way. Thank the Lord. These guys are pressing, and they got to stop. And in this game,
I don't see anybody. It seems like the defensive ends when I watch them. They're trying to bull rush all the time. I don't see anybody getting around the edge, right, the way Haley would. Or Micah.
Micah, yeah.
Going around the edge. They're all just going right into the offensive lineman. It's like Haley needs to get out there and start coaching.
He's out there every day. He's out there every day. He need to be telling them something more than that.
The problem is no one listens to him anymore.
That's a problem. Well, that is a problem.
That's a good one.
That is a problem.
Call it out, Spags. Nobody's listening to Charles Hayden. That's crazy. That's a good one.
Well, it's got to start somewhere. And I know in this game, these guys are under a lot of pressure, knowing that Mike is coming back into the building.
Okay, so the Cowboys have 3 sacks in 3 games. So
wonderful.
They're on a pace for 17 for the season. Who are the 3 guys who have sacks?
Houston.
James Houston has 1.
Doesn't the cornerback have 1?
No. Marshawn Nealon's got 1.
I was going to say Nealon.
And Kenny Clark.
Okay.
So there you have it.
And Kenny Clark.
Doesn't take long to call roll.
Yeah.
When he went down with that injury, the play was going. He went down. The play continued. He got back up to try to do something, and then it was over, and then he finally went down again.
How's he doing?
He tried. They think he'll be okay. He told me, well, they all say that.
Yeah.
I said, how you doing afterwards or whatever when I ran into him, and he said, yeah, it wasn't as bad as I thought. So
my question is, CeeDee Lamb, is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
3 to 5. I said, didn't we say 3? I said 3 to 5.
When?
Oh, I didn't?
At the beginning, you
I did.
You did?
Beginning.
3 to 5.
3 to 5. Yeah. I'm going to do like
Tyler Booker.
I'm going to do
3
like
to 5 too.
The morning news does. It's like told the morning news. So I'm going to say, well, told Mickey Spagnola.
Right.
3 to 5 weeks.
Sources say.
Yeah.
And Pickens, we trust.
There you go.
Well, it's okay, but what do you think the Packers are thinking? They're going to trust Pickens. Now, we're taking him out. Can Tolbert, Flournoy, and Turpin beat me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I trust Pickens. He's been there before. He's been a number 1 wide receiver. He knows what the double team is
Yeah, but
all
now
about.
he's back to where he was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
Best wide receiver.
He's been there before.
And by the way, I don't have a problem with him throwing the helmet down on the sideline either.
Well, what was wrong with that?
No. Nothing at all.
Wasn't he mad at himself?
He should have been.
Guys, y'all know as well as anybody that perception is not always reality, and we've had guys like Des Bryant here that when he did stuff like that, they talked about it as it was demonstrative.
But in this
coming
case,
from his reputation that you were talking about yesterday, his reputation is in front of him, and he has to be better than that. Just stuff like that you don't want to get.
And that, to me, that has to come from his other teammates. They should not allow him to make that mistake. He's okay throwing the helmet down and being upset. That's all that.
Clearly, he was mad at himself. He wasn't mad at anybody else.
Yeah, but you don't want that to fester within yourself.
Yeah.
So somebody, I'm sure Dak's going to go over to him, and already probably has, and like, hey, man, you're going to be my guy now. Let's do this. And
all right.
I think he'll be great with that.
Right. What did it get interpreted as?
No. We were trying to head it off at the pass.
No. It gets interpreted by people outside who aren't really watching the game. It gets on ESPN or whatever, and people say, "Oh, there's Pickens again," and they don't have the perspective of what just happened. A ball went off his hands, and it's clearly he was mad at himself, so he throws the helmet down. But people without that perspective say, "Oh, he's mad at his teammates."
I thought it got on TV when he went to the sideline.
No.
It was afterwards.
We were merely talking about what could.
No, I know what you're saying, but I didn't know how it was portrayed.
Yeah.
I thought
it was all portrayed well.
I thought it was
anyone
after.
watching the game knew that's why he's upset. It's not because they're not throwing the ball.
And the way Heckman was talking, I look forward to him coming out and balling out.
All right. We're going to ball out again tomorrow.
Let's do it, Bill.
Wait.
Big shots.
Go Cowboys.
Got the title. Balling out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!